All right, how about this? 1 week before the NFL draft, the head coach at Alabama, Kalen DeBoer, joining us right now. And something tells me there'll be a few Alabama guys drafted this year for a change. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Hey, good morning. Appreciate you guys having me on. Hope you're doing well.
Oh, we're doing well. You know, when the baseball team wins, we feel good. When I look in the stats and I see Alexis with 367, 15 bombs, one of the best freshman years in Husky softball history. That's Alexis DeBoer. It's a good Thursday morning, Coach.
I appreciate that. Brock. It's good to hear your voice, and I'm proud of that too. Things are good. Enjoying life and everything that comes with it.
How was year one in the SEC, Coach?
It was what you'd expect, and especially coming in as a first year, some ups and downs, and you're getting to know your personnel. You got a first year staff, so there's highs and lows. I think got a group of guys that have come together here in year two, continuing to keep the right ones here, and they're making the choices and decisions that you need to make, and putting the strain and effort into the work that matters most to make year two, go to another level. So continuity on the staff for the most part, the addition of, as you know, Ryan Grubb, and then everyone else really being here, and the players, a couple of guys that we'll talk about here in the show, just getting drafted, that will take away from some production, but we're excited about this next season.
Well, I think I got four on my mind that I want to make sure we ask you about, and maybe we'll start with the big fella, Tyler Booker, because his name keeps coming up, and I keep hearing the word nasty, physical, mauler. What are the strengths and weaknesses for Booker?
Well, this guy's one of the better and best leaders I've ever been around, and he can do it because he puts the work in, and so there's no hypocritical piece to it when he's asking everything out of the people around him. He has a mindset that you absolutely would love. Brock is the quarterback. You want those guys in front of you, and the ones that are going to protect you, and it's a personal thing if anyone's even getting close to his quarterback. And so he plays to and sometimes through the whistle. Love that about him, and he just has a mindset, and his effort and energy is contagious throughout the entire, not just offensive line, but the entire team. And so he's a guy that more of an interior offensive line, just thick, mobile, got some twitch, really good twitch to him, but he played some tackle for us too, a couple games, and did a really good job there. He could easily play inside and snap, so very versatile.
The question about him, Kalen, when we talk to all of the draft nicks that we've had on for the last month, and obviously the need there for the Seahawks and their interior line is he a outside zone guy? Is he fast enough? Is he athletic enough? He's massive. He's a mauler. He's everything you talked about. But does he have the skill set, the appropriate first step quickness and other things that these guys talk about to really live in this kind of outside zone Kubiak kind of world? What would you say to that?
Yeah, I think so. I think he showed growth last year, and I think that he still got his best football ahead of him. And I think he's a guy that can really adapt. He will pour everything into it. And I understand if there's limitations a person has, it doesn't matter how much you put into it. So you got to find the right fit. But I really do. I think he's got that mobility. He's got that flex and bend that you're looking for. So I think he's a top tier guy. In the draft as an offensive lineman.
This might be the first time in the history of sports radio that a duo led off with the offensive line prospect before getting to the quarterback prospect. And so we'll be turning in our sports radio credentials probably by tomorrow. I don't know there's actually a mandate that you start with the quarterback, so I won't let it go too far. Let's talk about Jalen Milroe. The question I think that people have about Milroe, because I'm fascinated. We all are. The running, everything else. I got to hear more about the passing, because I think the concern is this Anthony Richardson part two? How is he different as a passer from what the league has seen here with Anthony Richardson in the last few years?
Yeah, I'll apologize. Like I know who Anthony Richardson is, of course, but from studying his film and knowing every detail about him, I can't say I do. But I do know, Jalen. I mean, when it comes off his hand, it comes off with some spin. It comes off hot. It comes up. He can throw the ball down the field. 2 years ago, he had a really good season throwing the ball, vertically down the field. And, one of the higher completion percentages, Penix, I think, was right up there. They were in the top 2 or 3 together in 2023. I think just continuing I think there is growth for him in just, overall pass concepts, reads, and things like that. But the guy pours everything into it. It's just a matter of being comfortable. And I think, you're going to have that balance once in a while when you have someone that's such a great athlete like him, and figure out how you want that and what your offensive system is going to be. The best coordinators, can figure that out. And, you see that with Lamar Jackson and a few other guys, because Jalen has a superpower, and that's running the football, but he also I think has the capability of being a strong passer as well.
How good is he at running the football?
He's elite. And we did a lot of things, just putting him in the gun and trying to give him as many reads, and then sometimes reads where you give the ball to the tailback, but also there was times where we just, emptied the backfield and picked a side and, checked our numbers and let him go. And, he was as good as any running back, I've really ever been around, just with the ball in his hands that way.
Kalen DeBoer here with us over like almost 19 years on the college football trail. It was really interesting over that time frame to see guys, and many of them bristled at being running quarterbacks. I don't want to do that. And guys that were super skilled at it because of perception and playing in the league and wanting to throw in the pocket and do all of that stuff. Is Jalen a guy that if the league said, hey, man, we want you to come in here and do some of this wildcat, some of this joker, be more than just a drop back quarterback? Does he have a willingness and a want to be and utilize that super skill set of running the football?
Yeah, I think that's a question actually I've been asked probably as much as anything to, what's his willingness to come in and, does he feel like he's got to be the guy right away and a starter? Or is he willing to learn? Is he, the role, early on? I everything I know about Jalen Milroe, he's unselfish. He'll do whatever it takes. He's excited about the next step and, just finding the right organization that he can mesh with, on a personal level, but also obviously the professional level. So, you get him in whatever role he can, and I think then that's where you make an impact. I equate it kind of like to guys who do special teams, and then all of a sudden that grows their role to maybe being on the field more defensively and offensively. I think that's what you can do with him if that's where he ends up going, is to an organization where, that's the starting point for him. But I think, growth for him is going to happen because he observes, he pours everything into it. He's going to, be there early and stay late. And so, whatever you ask of him, he's going to learn, process, and continue to grow.
What position does Jihaad Campbell play at the NFL level?
Yeah, I think there's a combination of inside and outside, very much like we used him, inside backer. I've asked that question a little bit when teams start talking to me, and just kind of curious myself. I know what he was really good at for us, and I think he's got more room to grow from an inside backer, but he's got elite traits. He runs the football, and he's got instincts. He can go sideline to sideline. So, an inside guy that can come off the edge, and that's what we did with packages on especially third down, where we just wanted to cut him loose. He's got great length. So, passing lanes and so forth, when he's off the ball and in coverage is one thing. And even using that length when he's coming off the edge to, getting passing or getting the quarterback's vision, cause some problems that way. So the guys, all three of these guys that we're talking about are just phenomenal human beings. I really mean that, and Jihaad's fun to be around, going to be an extremely hard worker, and just going to soak up everything that comes his way as people try to figure out that exact role for him. But he's an elite performer, a playmaker. He finishes plays. I think that's the thing. He finishes. He gets guys on the ground. He beats you, and then makes the tackle, makes the sack, whatever it is.
Is he an alpha?
Book is definitely an alpha, and I think, Jalen and Jihaad are certainly that from a confidence, and they're not afraid to be out in front of the team. They will speak to the group. They are convicted in who they are and what they want it to look like. I think, he comes in and, he's the perfect teammate that way that can grow to the leader you want to be, because he's not going to come in with some arrogance or stuff like that. And so, I don't think alphas have to be that way. Some are, but he's going to be the perfect teammate. There's no question about that.
The other name, as we're talking to Kalen DeBoer, the other name that has popped up here, and probably in a later round situation, is Malachi Moore. What should we know about him?
Yeah, Malachi, this guy has got passion. He got fire. He's played a lot of football here at Alabama, played it, for a couple different coordinators on the defensive side, and did it extremely well. Called the shots for us. He's smart, intelligent. He tested out very well. Don't ask me what those exact numbers were, but I know that they were impressive. He played through some dings this last season and still performed. He was a heartbeat. One of the guys that was the heartbeat, him and Jihaad, maybe one or two other guys that really kept the whole thing together and allowed us to improve as the season's going along on the defensive side in particular. But he plays with passion on game day, but he practices that way as well. And so he just loves ball and everything that comes with it.
Hey, last thing here for you, Kalen, and thanks for taking the time and filling in a bunch of blanks. I'm just curious what Ryan Grubbs' experience was in the NFL when you guys are having some sweet tea down there in the South and reminiscing about the year that was for Ryan and everything he experienced at the NFL level and with these Seahawks. What were some of his takeaways?
Yeah. I think it was a great, anytime you do something new, and that was certainly new, there's always going to be great growth. And, I've known him for a long time, and that's what's going to happen with Ryan anyway. He's a guy that's always going to try to press to be better. And I think he's really used that experience, as I would have expected, to even be better coming here now. And, we honestly have been going so hard with everything, trying to put everything together. We haven't really kicked back and talked like that. But I can see just how he's operating again with, our team and with our staff. There's a high percentage that's consistent with how we've always done things, but there's these little tweaks, whether it's schematics or just, philosophical things that just continue to add to what he's already done. So, the pedal's down always when you're working with him and, pushing to be elite and be the best. And that's his expectation for himself, which then, allows him to be able to ask that of everyone else around him. So, he elevates everyone in our program, and he's done an awesome job here in these first few months.
Well, we appreciate it. Thanks for taking a few minutes with us here this morning and getting us ready for the draft. I'm totally confused and befuzzled as to what I think the Seahawks should do. I've gone back and forth here now like 100 times. Do they go defensive end? Do they go guard? Do they go? This whole thing, I'm torn up. But this has given us a lot of good information, and Tyler Booker's definitely a guy, as Jalen Milroe. I think all of these guys are real conversations here in Seattle. So thanks for giving us some of your unique insight into it. We appreciate it.
You bet. I appreciate you guys as well, and, be well. So thank you.
All right, there you go. There's Coach Kalen DeBoer.
Well, we really do appreciate you guys watching our videos.
And remember, you can like it, you can subscribe it, you can download the Seattle Sports app so you never miss a minute.